streaming live and recording. I didn't mean to stream live, but since I'm live, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'm sitting, brothers and sisters, on a video that I've been holding off for the past couple weeks, and I wanted to address the scenario with Nick Cannon. For those of you that don't know, there's a reason why Nick Cannon had to apologize, and I kind of posted it on my Facebook page, but I thought I would post this up on my YouTube channel so people would know why Nick Cannon had to apologize. Okay? I want you to understand it's very important for you to do your homework, especially if you are in a partnership, which is what happened with Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon was in a partnership with CBS Viacom. Okay, I'm gonna go straight to it so you can see what's going on here. Okay, now if you go to YouTube and you Google Viacom, okay, and here's what comes up. Viacom's website. Okay, now Viacom's website, I'm gonna kind of back out of this for a second. I gotta show you something here. Okay, let's go to Wikipedia right quick, because this is gonna make sense to you, for those of you to understand why Nick Cannon had to apologize. Okay, all right. So Nick Cannon was fired by Viacom, okay? Now, Viacom, just by way of information, it says the company's main assets include Paramount Pictures, film and television studio, CBS Entertainment Group, television stations, and CBS branded assets, domestic networks, right? MTV, Nickelodeon, BET, Comedy Central, and Showtime, right? These are networks that are under the umbrella of Viacom. All right. Now, Viacom was founded in December 2019, and guess who the founder of Viacom is? This is the person that Nick Cannon was in partnership with, right? All right. So we go to the Shari. You see a link here. I already have it up on this page here. Shari Redstone. You see that? Shari Redstone. All right. Let's go to Wikipedia. Okay, but actually all of this can be confirmed by going to CBS Viacom website, which is what I pulled up at first. But it's a whole lot in there. You got to go in and find what you're looking for. But it's there, all right? So you do the homework. Shari Redstone, it says she was born April 14, 1954, is an American media executive with the background in numerous aspects of entertainment industry and related ventures. She currently serves as the chairperson of Viacom CBS and president of National Amusements. That's the part you got to understand. She was the president of National Amusements. Okay. Now I'm gonna open up a separate link there in another tab. We're gonna pull it up in a minute. All right. Let's just put this at the end. Okay. So remember that Shari Redstone was the president of National Amusement. All this is going to make sense when we get to it in a minute. All right. She formerly served as vice president of CBS Corporation and Viacom. Okay. Now, so as the record states, Nick Cannon was fired by Viacom, who is actually the CEO and director, Shari Redstone, who is the founder, who is the president of National Amusements. Okay. Now, all right, I said I'm going to hold off on National Amusements for last. Let's go there right now. Okay. National Amusements is an American private-owned theater company and mass media holding company based in Norwood, Massachusetts, and incorporated in Maryland. Right? Its parent company. It is the parent company of Viacom CBS. See that? So you gotta understand who you work for to understand what the limits is on what you can say if you are in partnership with a person who is the big wig, if you will, of Viacom. All right. So Sherry Sherry Redstone is the president of the present company Viacom. All right, let's give it to. We're gonna break this thing down so you can understand why Nick Cannon had to apologize. Okay. Okay, it says here the company was founded by Michael Redstone in 1936. Who's Michael Redstone? I'm glad you asked the question. We're gonna let this thing tell us who he is so we can see what's going on here. All right. Michael Redstone in 1936 in Boston suburbs of Dedham as a Northeastern Theater Corporation, operating a chain of movie theaters in the region. 50 years later, in 1986, when the founder's son, Summer Redstone. So who is Summer Redstone? All right. Summer Redstone joined the company. It had been renamed National Amusements. That year, the company acquired Viacom, a former CBS subsidiary. So when did they acquire Viacom? In 1986. So we have Michael Redstone, right? And I'm gonna give it to you so you won't have to dig for it. Michael Redstone is the grandfather of Sherry Redstone. Okay. So it says here, when the founder's son, Summer Redstone, see the picture of him right there, joined the company, it had been renamed National Amusements. That year, the company acquired Viacom CBS subsidiary, syndicating television programs for stations around the United States. NA retained the Viacom name and made a string of large acquisitions in the early 1990s, announcing plans to merge with Paramount Communications, which is the movie theater, the movie motion picture company, which is where Nick Cannon and many others movies have come through the production of Paramount Records or Paramount Studios. Okay, Records is part of that too as well, but that's another story. All right, Paramount Pictures in 1993 and buying the Blockbuster Video. So those of you that wonder what happened to Blockbuster Video, bam, it went out because when the times changed and when technology changed, who wanted to go to Blockbuster to get a video when you can watch streaming online live, right? Just pay a monthly fee for a specific company and just stream the video for free instead of buying it. Then in many cases you can have the software, you can download it, you can save it in your library, and you can watch it later and watch it as many times as you want with the minimum fee through a subscription such as Netflix. All right. So the acquisition of Paramount Communications in 1994 made Viacom one of the world's largest entertainment companies. Okay. At the end of 2008, due to financial troubles, owner Summer Redstone and Sherry Redstone sold 400 million of non-voting shares in National Amusement. In October 2009, the company sold almost 1 billion of its interest in stock of CBS and Viacom, and sold 35 theaters to Rave Motion Picture. Today, these theaters are owned by Cinemark AMC. So all the movie theaters you go to, like Cinemark AMC, was originally owned by Sherry and her father, Summer Redstone. All right. Okay. Alamo, it says AMC Alamo or had closed. National Amusement now almost exclusively operates theaters in northeastern United States with the exception of a location in Ohio. Okay. Now, so that's all I'm going to give you. So Michael Redstone, what I want to do is I'm going to open up a new tab here. We're going to look at Michael Redstone. All right. Michael Redstone. We're giving it to you. We're bringing it home so you can understand why Nick Cannon had to apologize and bring a rabbi on the set. Okay, all is connected. You're gonna see why in a minute. Okay, Redstone. This is Michael, the grandfather of Sherry, who was the father of Summer Redstone, who's still living today. Right? Michael Redstone was born Michael Rothstein. You see that? He was born Michael Rothstein. That's his Jewish name, right? He was born in 1902 and died in 1987, pardon me. He was the founder of Northeast Theater Corporation, which is now National Amusements, Inc. So, Michael was the founder of National Amusements, which was originally called National, what did he say it was? Northeast Theater Corporation. Michael founded it. His son Summer took over, and watch what it says here. This is the thing. You got to get this if you're going to understand why Nick Cannon had to apologize, right? It said at the behest. Let me go back up for a second. Redstone was born in Boston. Now, Redstone we're talking about the grandfather of Sherry, which is his name is Michael. It says Michael Redstone was born Michael Rothstein. You see, Redstone was born in Boston in 1940 at the behest of his son Summer Redstone. He agreed to change their surname from Rothstein to Redstone. Okay, why did he agree to change the name? You got to understand, in 1940, right, was right around the time when the Jews were being persecuted in Russia and Germany. Okay, primarily Germany under Adolf Hitler, right? So, to protect the family, and I believe that was the intent, they changed the name to hide their identity from persecution. Okay? All right, I respect that. Hey, that's a smart move. I mean, 1940 was a terrible period of time for anybody that had a Jewish name or that had any Jewish connection, especially consider what Adolf Hitler was doing. That devil. I digress. But so, in 1940, at the behest of Summer Redstone, he agreed to change the surname from Rothstein to Redstone. Redstone is the literal, listen, Redstone is a literal translation of the German Jewish name Rothstein. Just like the Rothschilds changed their name from Red Shield to Rothschild. Now, I don't know why what was the purpose for them changing their name to Rothschild. And Nick Cannon, oh my goodness, he on the channel with Professor Griff talking about the Rothschilds and the Illuminati. Oh my goodness, he hung himself dead talking about that, especially being in a partnership with them on their network. We're going to get to it in a minute. On the MTV network, I'm talking about specifically, and BET, which is owned by them as well, which is not no longer the Black Entertainment TV, right? It's under the disguise, the hidden name of Redstone, which is Rothstein, which is the Jewish B. It should instead of being called the Black Entertainment TV, it should be called the Jewish Control Black Entertainment TV. Put the Jewish JC BET, okay? Because the owner is Jewish. Drop your rocks. I'm not speaking anti-Semitic, I'm just speaking the truth. BET is owned by Sherry Redstone, who is a descendant of Jews, right? Okay? Are you following this now? Okay, so now let's see. So Summer Redstone, it says the name Rothstein, the surname, let me back up again, in 1940, at the behest of Sumner Redstone, he agreed to change the surname from Rothstein to Redstone. Redstone is a literal translation of the German Jewish name Rothstein. Okay, it says he started a trucking firm as a young man, and when he worked as an usher at a Scolaway, Scully, is that Scully? Okay, I believe it's Scully Square Olympia Theater before starting the Boston branch of the Latin Quarter nightclub. Thereafter, he founded the movie theater ownership company Northeast Theater Corporation, which became National Amusements Inc. His son, Sumner Redstone, grew National Amusements into one of the largest media conglomerates in the United States, owning one of the three broadcast networks. Broadcast networks. Pardon me, I'm having a little tongue-tied, little part. Maybe I'll take a drink of coffee here. Okay. Owning one of the three broadcast networks in CBS, the cable television and content provider Viacom, which includes MTV Networks and BET, a movie studio, Paramount Pictures, and movie tickets. Now I got to open up another tab right quick. So let's look at Nick Cannon right quick. All right. All right. Let's see. Nick Cannon. Here we go. Let's see. Let's go to, let's go here. All right. What I want to read is the production that he had on MTV. Okay, what is this production called? Okay, let's see. MTV Wild something. Is it Wild? What is it? Wild something. Help me out here. Wild something. Is it Wet and Wild? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Let's see. What is it? I'm drawing a blank, but the network that he did on BET. Let's see. Hold on a second here, brothers and sisters. Man, this is really nerve-wracking because I thought I had it down pat. What is it? Oh, it's irking me. It's right on the tip of my tongue. But Nick Cannon. It'll come back to me in a minute. Oh, is it Wet and Wild or something? What is it? Nick Cannon, MTV. Okay, let's see. Let's do that right quick. All right, let me see if I can get it because I don't like to misinform. All right. So let's see. Wild and Out. That's it. I got it. I lost track. Woo! Wild and Out. Okay, was a program that Nick Cannon was responsible for. He was the producer of, but Nick Cannon, incidentally, is only worth $30 million. Shari Redstone is worth about $30 billion. So his money's a drop in the bucket. Okay, all right. Just want to throw it out there. So Nick Cannon was a partner somewhere, I think I read somewhere, with Shari Redstone for the purpose of that MTV Wild and Out. Okay, now let's get back to where was I at? Michael Redstone. Okay, we're done with Michael Redstone. The reality matter, we brought it out that Michael Redstone is Jewish, right? So let's close that one there. Now let's go to Sumner Redstone right quick. Sumner Redstone right here. Okay, Sumner is Michael's son. All right, Michael's son, Sumner Redstone. All right, Sumner Murray Redstone, born Sumner Murray Rothstein, Rostein, Rothstein. Right, kind of like Frankenstein. Right, Frankenstein was Jewish too. Did you know that? That's another ball game. We'll talk about that another day. All right, but. When you see the Stein, that's the code word for a Jew, okay? I don't know what's so particular about the word Stein, but maybe one day we'll do a word etymology on that and find out why there's such a connection between the word Stein when it comes to Jewish people, okay? I'm not anti whatever. I'm just basically stating the fact the name Stein is associated with Jewish people, okay? Anyway, back to the story at hand. Summer Mary Redstone was born Summer Mary Rothstein in 1923. Is an American business and media magnate. He is the majority owner and chairman of the board of who? National Amusements. So who is he now? He is the majority owner of National Amusements, who is what? The parent company of CBS Viacom, which Nick Cannon was a partner with. And he spoke that the Jews are not the chosen people. They want to be us. And wrong move, Mr. Cannon. Did you do your homework? All right. So Summer Redstone, who is Sherry Redstone, who is Nick Cannon's boss and partner. Summer Redstone is the majority owner and chairman of National Amusements Theater chain. Through the National Amusements, Redstone and his family are majority voting shareholders of Viacom CBS. See that again? It says through the National Amusements, Redstone and his family, which includes who? His daughter, Sherry Rothstein Redstone. Okay? She's Jewish, right? It says Redstone and his family are majority voting shareholders of Viacom CBS. So now pause for a minute, right? Now, do you think it's wrong for them to fire him for talking about Jews? I would have did the same thing. It was in their rights. He's working for them. It was not my fault, you ignorant of the law. Ignorant of the law is no excuse, right? So you say you didn't know. I didn't know the gun was loaded, right? That's ignorance of the law, right? So you can't use ignorance of the law as the excuse, Mr. Cannon. Okay? So it says once again that Redstone and his family are major voting shareholders of Viacom CBS. It says itself the parent company. Watch this now. They are the parent company of CBS, MTV, TV Land, VidCon, Smithsonian Channel, CBS Television Studios, CBS Productions, Showtime Networks, Nickelodeon. How about that? Paramount, Big Ticket Television, Viacom CBS, Domestic Media Networks, Viacom CBS Networks, International, Comedy Central. Nick Cannon was a comedian. Paramount Pictures, Miramax, CBS, right? Television stations, Network 10, and TV distributors. CBS television distributors, according to Forbes, as 2015, he was worth, this is 2015, he was worth, according to Forbes, $5 billion. Now, up to date, if you go to Forbes, I'm not going to go to that link. You can do that on your own. How about that? I think he's worth $8 billion now. Okay, that was 2015. So we're in 2020. So he's worth $8 billion, I think it says in Forbes. Okay, as of 2019. All right. So Redstone was formerly the executive chairman of both CBS and Viacom. In February 2016 at age 92. Redstone resigned both chairmanships following a court-ordered examination by a geriatric psychiatrist. He was ultimately succeeded by Les Moonves at CBS and Philip Dahlman at Viacom. All right. Now, I'm going to read this again. So this is just a confirmation of what Michael, his father, was Jewish. This is a confirmation. All right. It says early life and education. Redstone was born to a Jewish family in Boston. To Belly Nee Ostrovsky. I probably muffed it up. Ostrovsky and Michael Rothstein. In 1940, at Summers' behest, his father agreed to change the family surname from Rothstein to Redstone. Bam. Kind of like the red dragon. That's another lesson. Drop your rocks. All right. I'm trying to walk the straight line because I know they're out there watching everything you say, monitoring. So I'm trying to keep it to where, because look, let me just give a disclaimer. Anti-Semitic is when you challenge the reality that the Jews are the chosen people. That's what anti-Semitic is. Anti-Semitic doesn't mean that they call that, hey, anytime you say, oh, I don't believe they're chosen people, that is anti-Semitic, and that's grounds for you to have your channel terminated, for you to have your video pulled and everything else, right? I'm not saying that they are not the chosen people, okay? All right? Let that sink in for a second. All right? At the same time, you cannot say, I can't say and claim that you can't get me for anti-Semitic if I say I'm an Israelite. Because if I say I'm an Israelite, you say I'm not, then you're being anti-Semitic, okay? So, for the record, if you want to be safe, don't say who the real Israelites are not. Say according to Scripture who the real Israelites are according to Scripture, and then you're safe, right? Because you didn't say somebody else wasn't. You just said how to identify the true children of Israel. It's not anti-Semitic. But when you say they're not the real people, that's the anti-Semitic, because it comes off as hatred, right? So you got to walk the line. You got to be very careful what you say, right? You got to be very careful what you say. And Nick Cannon said they're not the real people. They want to be us, right? So that's where he messed up. All right. But anyway, let me get back here. Let's get back in here so I can close this thing out here right quick. All right. So it says Redstone was born to a Jewish family in Boston, Massachusetts. Did I get that right? Ostrovsky. Please pardon me if I said the name incorrect. It's not my intention to muff up anybody's name, because I know what it's like to have your name muffed up. But Ostrovsky, I think, Ostrovsky, and Michael Rothstein in 1940, Summer, at the behest of his father, agreed to change the family surname to Rothstein to Redstone. Redstone is literally translation of the Yiddish name Rothstein. See that? So Rothstein is a Yiddish name. Now you do the research. You tell me what Yiddish is. This is not a lesson on language, okay? All right, I already know what Yiddish is. It's a High German language. It's not an Afro-Asiatic language. It's an Indo-Eurasian, in the Indo-Eurasian family of languages. Yiddish is, right, which is a German language, right? But in the Yiddish, it says translation in the Yiddish name Rothstein. Michael Rothstein owned Northeast Theater Corporation in Dedham, Massachusetts, the forerunner of National Amusement and the Boston branch of the Latin Quarter nightclub. So now. So Summer Redstone, and you can read that. You can go to, I'm going to close this tab out because that's all I want to cover with regards to Summer Redstone, okay? We covered Michael Redstone, so let's close that tab out. All right, now we covered Nick. Let's close that tab out. Okay, now I want to look at Sherry, okay? Because like I said, Nick was fired. Nick Cannon was fired by Viacom, and the president is Sherry Redstone, who is the daughter of Summer Redstone, who is the son of Michael Redstone Rothstein. Got it? Got it? This is why Nick had to apologize, okay? Now we're dealing with her. Sherry Ellen, I believe it is, Redstone was born 1954 in an American media executive and background in numerous aspects of entertainment industry and related ventures. Pardon me. Take a drink for that. She currently serves as the chairperson of Viacom, CBS, and president of National Amusements. So who is it now? Shari Redstone serves as the chairperson of Viacom, CBS, and the president. So it means she's at the highest position in the company. She's the president of National Amusement. So in other words, the president can say something, bam, things happen just like that. So what Mr. Nick Cannon, when he did his video, you know how corporate America works. Somebody in corporate America saw it and said, oh, I just saw Nick Cannon. You know, Nick Cannon, a partner on our MTV channel with the Wild 'N Out series. He just talked about the Jews. Now, whether or not they know she's Jewish or not, I'm sure they probably do. The people that work in the corporation got to know a little something about their boss. Most people do. Apparently Nick Cannon didn't. Okay, so it says she currently serves as chairperson of Viacom, CBS, and president of National Amusement. She formerly served as vice president of CBS Corporation of Viacom. Through National Amusement, Redstone and her family are majority owners of CBS, Comedy Central, BET, Showtime Networks, and the film studio Paramount Pictures. So they are what? Majority owners. Okay? Now, if you go to the Fortune 500, which I'm not going to go there, the net worth of CBS Viacom / National Amusement is $30 billion. She's the president of a $30 billion organization that Nick Cannon was a partner with his $30 million, speaking against his partner and boss of CBS Viacom / National Amusements. Okay? So, we understand now who Shari Redstone is, her ethnic background and her position. And so now we understand now why Nick Cannon had to go. He had to go bye-bye. You're not going to talk about the people that employ you and remain employed. It don't work that way. That's just how life is, right? Somebody talked about me. Do you think they will continue? They will be a continuing employee of me if they talked about me? Now, we can't, so-called blacks can't have an anti-black clause. I'm gonna fire you because you're anti-black. You got to be really, really, really specific and particular to be able to get to run that over, okay? So, racism is hard to prove in corporate setting. So, and many people have tried, but you got to have all your I's dotted and all your T's crossed for you to be able to prove that case. But anyway, be that as it may, I digress. The Redstone, it says, early life and education. Redstone is the daughter of Phyllis Gloria Raphael. She's the daughter of Phyllis Gloria Raphael, which is a Jewish name, right? And Summer Redstone, or Summer Rothstein, and the sister of Brent Redstone. Her grandfather was Michael Redstone, who was the original founder of National Amusements, the parent company that now owns majority of Redstone's media empire. She graduated with a Bachelor's of Science degree from Tufts University. She received a law degree from Boston University School of Law, and she practiced corporate law, estate planning, and criminal law in Boston area before joining National Amusements, right? So now, I want to get to this part here where it talks about, see where it says personal life. So see, Nick, brother, if you see this, you gotta do whenever you working for somebody, you gotta study. I learned that when I was working in corporate America. Whenever you want to go to work for a company, study the company to know who you're working for. So you know the do's and don'ts, you know the history of the company, so you know how you can protect yourself if you're trying to get employed, how you can become employed, if you're employed, how you can remain employed. But you don't want to talk about your employer in ignorance, because you're threatening jeopardizing the livelihood and the future of yourself by not knowing who you work for, right? So for those of you that are in corporate America and you want to work for a specific Fortune 500 company, do your homework, research the company, know what the origins of the company is, who the founders are, etc. So you know not to cross certain lines and certain barriers if you're going to be in corporate America, right? I'm not in corporate America, so I don't have that battle to fight, but many of you are. So I'm just giving you a little heads up so how you can protect yourself from that. Okay, so now, be that as it may, oh my. So it says Redstone, meaning Sherry, married, listen, Rabbi Nick didn't do his homework, bro. I'm telling you. Sherry Redstone married Rabbi Ira A. Korth. I think I pronounced it right. Please pardon me if I didn't. Ira A. Korth. I'm gonna open this tab so you can see who he is. He looked like a rabbi too. Let's pop this up right quick. Let's see. Look at it. Can you see him right there? Nick did not do his homework, man. I'm telling you. Woo! Wait! I wouldn't have, I mean, in this position, I would not even have done a video and even mentioned Jews, Rothschilds, any of the above, because he spoke his death sentence, brothers and sisters. So if you see this here, look at this picture. Let's see if I can do this here. Let's make it. Yeah. Let's see. No, I don't want to do that. Let's see. I want you to see the picture real clear so you can see. Okay, let's see. Can you see that? Let's see. Let's do this here. Hold on a second. Okay, let's do this. Okay, I want you to see this picture. Now you can see the picture. This is Sherry Redstone's husband. Look at him. He's a rabbi. Today, he is a Jewish rabbi. This is Sherry Rothstein Redstone's, and I guess she was Sherry Croft, or whatever it is, Korth, however you pronounce his name. She was his wife. Okay. Now that you see that, let me see if I can go back here. Okay, so Yitzchak Aharon Korth is the present Rebbe or rabbi of Zahil Mesbah. I probably said it wrong. He has been the chaplain of the city of Boston, serving the Boston Police and Fire Department's mayor's office and other departments and agencies, and spiritual leader of Congregation B'nai Yaakov Zahil Misbah Beit Midrash of Boston, Miami, and Jerusalem, Israel, serving also with the chief rabbis of Israel as a spiritual leader of the Jerusalem Great Synagogue. This man, brothers and sisters, this man got power. This man is a high-ranking rabbi. He is one of the highest that you can get. And Nick Cannon spoke against the Jews, and oh my goodness, and not knowing that Sherry was married to him. Now let's go back to Sherry. All right. So this is, let me just read a little more about him. This man here. So it says, he's serving as chief rabbis of Israel, a spiritual leader of the Jerusalem Great Synagogue. He is a judge of the Jewish law, Dayan of the Badatz Boston Beth Din Rabbinical Court and the Council of Rabbis. He is also the principal of Korf Associates, consultants in business. He's in business, not just religion, business too. CBS. He's probably someone, a financial consultant to CBS. I don't know. I mean, we have to look and see. I have to go and look into their record, but this man is no joke financially, right? So it says he is a principal of Korf Associates Consultants in Business, Diplomacy, and International Law Relations, consult to government of Austria, and publisher of Boston-based Jewish newspaper, The Jewish Advocate. It says Korf is the father of Nathan Nokum Korf, who served as a founding rabbi of Congregation B'nai Yaakov in Milton, Massachusetts. His uncle Baruch Korf was well known as a spiritual advisor to Richard Nixon. So this man, not only is he financially connected, he is politically connected. Okay? That's all I'm going to share with regards to Sherry Redstone's Sherry Rothstein. I said Sherry Roth, but I was meant to say Sherry Rothstein. Sherry Redstone, that's the family name, okay? Legally known as Sherry Redstone, okay? So she was married to him, and she has, I should say, three children, including Brandon Korf, who we just mentioned, right? So Sherry is the head president of National Amusements, who Nick Cannon worked for. All right. So as I bring this to a close, let me bring myself in here. Nick Cannon didn't do his homework, and the reason why he was fired and terminated in partnership was because he didn't do his homework. And so I personally, if you go to this Nick Cannon's channel, you will see that he had a interview with the rabbi to kind of try to bring things back. I got to point this out here. Okay, this is something else. Nick Cannon also is the host of the Masked Singer, which is also on, get this, Fox Network. So I'm gonna share this one little piece and I'm gonna close this video out. Nick Cannon, I gotta share this with you. Let's go over to the founder. Let's see, let's do this right quick. Okay, William Fox. William Fox is the founder of Fox Network. Okay. Now you say, brother, how do you know that? Let's see. Let's do this right quick. All right. We done with Sherry, right? Let's go to Fox. Okay, let's go to Fox Broadcasting Company. Let's see if we can pull this up. This is all you gotta do is just Google your stuff will come up. Under Fox Broadcasting Company, if you go to history and origins, it says, let's see, where is it? Hold on one second. It's somewhere in this article. Let me see if I can find it right quick. It's at the top. Okay. It says at the very top of the article, Fox is named after what was then called 20th Century Fox, its original corporate sibling, and indirectly for producer William Fox, who founded one of the film studio predecessors, Fox Film. Fox is a member of the North American Broadcasting Association and National Association of Broadcasters. So who is a producer? William Fox. All right, now we got that clear. Let's close this tab here and let's go to William Fox. All right, you see picture of William Fox, and blow it up so you can see him. All right, that's William Fox. Look at him real close. Let me see if I can bring this. Let's see if I can. Let's bring this in so you can see him. You don't need to see me. That's William Fox. Okay. William Fox was the founder, as it says, or producer of Fox Network. Okay. Let's go back to him. All right. So let's see. Can I bring myself back in here? Let's see. All right. Okay. So William Fox was born Vilmos Fox. Please excuse me. It sounded kind of. I know it didn't come out right. It didn't come out right. Please pardon me. William Fox was born Vilmos Fox. I'm sorry. I'm trying to pronounce the name right. Vilmos Fox. I think Fox. Please help me if I'm saying it wrong. Okay, I'm not trying to mess up anybody's name. Vilmos Fox or Fuchs. In January 1st, 1879 through 1952, he was a Hungarian American motion picture executive who founded Fox Film Corporation in 1915 and Fox West Coast Theaters chain in 1920s. Although he lost control of his movie business in 1930, his name was used by 20th Century Fox and continues to be used in the trademark of the present day Fox Corporation, including Fox Broadcasting Company and Fox News and Fox Sports. Okay. Fox was born in Toskova, Hungary, and originally named Vilmos Fox. His parents, Michael Fox and Hannah Fried, were Hungarian Jews. You see that? The family immigrated to the United States when William was 9 months old and settled in New York City, where they had 12 more children, okay, and whom only 6 survived. Wilhelm once sold candy in Central Park, worked as a newsboy, and worked in the fur and garment industry as a youth. So Fox Network was founded by the Jews. Nick Cannon is on the Fox Network doing The Masked Singer, working on a network that was founded by a Hungarian Jew. So he lost MTV Wildin' Out due to the partnership with the Jewish descendant Sherry Redstone Rothstein. Now here he is begging, gasping for air, because why? He needs to get back into his good standings with the Jewish community, who he attacked on his show by saying that they were not the real people of the book. You see how this works now? So Nick Cannon immediately, somebody briefed him. The Jewish rabbi probably told him, brother, you know who you working for? You working for the Rothstein, Redstone, Jewish people, and you speaking against them? And you think you're going to have a job? You need to get this straight. So we need to do a video to try to kind of clear the air so people can see you apologize and see you have a change of heart, so you can maintain your position on the Masked Singer and any other networks that you want to try to preserve, right, for the livelihood of yourself. Now, I'm gonna close on this here, right? For those of you that don't know, there was a Jewish man by the name of Arthur Koestler. I'm gonna bring him up right quick, all right? I want you to see his face here, all right? I'm going to back myself out of here so you can see him. It's Arthur Koestler. Arthur Koestler, and I probably said his name wrong. Koestler, or Koestler, Arthur Koestler, Koestler, was an author, an American author. Okay, so let's go back and let's look a little bit about him. Okay, it said Arthur Koestler, CBE. It says German, Hungarian. Remember we told you Fox was a Hungarian Jew. Okay, so Koestler was Hungarian, and it says, and was a Hungarian British author and journalist. Koestler was born in Budapest, and part of his early school years was educated in Austria. Koestler joined the Communist Party of Germany, but he resigned in 1938 because Stalinism disillusioned him. In 1940, he published his novel Darkness at Noon, an anti-totalitarian work that gained him international fame over the next 43 years. From the residence of the Britain, Koestler espoused many political causes and wrote novels, memoirs, biographies, and numerous essays. In 1968, he is awarded the Sonning Prize for his outstanding contribution to European culture. 1972, he was made commander of the Order of the British Empire. 1976, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and in 1979 with terminal leukemia. In 1983, he and his wife committed suicide together in their home in London. Him and his wife committed suicide. Okay, see that? So, why am I bringing up Arthur Koestler? Because Arthur Koestler wrote, let me see if I can pick up another tab right quick. He wrote a book called The 13th Tribe. Okay? He wrote a book called The 13th Tribe. Okay? Can you see that? The 13th Tribe. You can get it. They have it on YouTube. You can pay for it. You can get a free PDF because it's all on the internet. But anyway, I'm not going to cover the story, but I'm just going to kind of let you know that he was the author of, let's see if it says here in any of his credits here. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, it says in early 1976, Koestler was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. The trembling of his hand made writing progressively more difficult. He cut back on overseas trips and spent the summer months at a farmhouse in Denton, Suffolk, which he had bought in 1971. That same year saw the publications The 13th Tribe, which presents his since discredited theory about Khazarian origins of European jewelry. See that? 1978, Koestler published Janus and Summing Up. So basically, this book he published that they said, it says here in Wikipedia that the book was discredited. The book is in circulation. And in the book, he basically speaks anti-Semitic comments, right? By saying that the Jews are not related to Israel. So he, being a Jew, spoke against the connection of the Jewish people to the biblical Israelites. And that was his death sentence. So it's mysteriously that it says that him and his wife committed suicide. It's mysterious, right? But Arthur Koestler wrote the book, and so as a result of that, he was found dead as a result of it. What I want to do is I want to for those of you that want a definition, because it's good to understand why why and what you do that will cause you to be disqualified as far as to anti-Semitism. So if you can see this here, it says anti-Semitism. It says hostility or prejudice against the Jews. Okay. Hostility or prejudice against the Jews. Okay. So when you say something against the Jews, you say they're not the real people, they're not the biblical Israelites, they're imposters, whatever it is from the synagogue of Satan. Those are anti-Semitic comments. Okay. So now someone say, well, brother, there is no son named Shem. I agree with you 1,000%. But now what I want to offer to you is, I'm going to do this. I'm going to close this video out. I did an etymology. Okay, I did an etymology of the word Semitic. So what I want to do is it's actually spelled S-E-M-I. So let's look at this real quick as I close this lesson out. I'm gonna bring this up so you can see the article, so you can see the etymology. It's so important to know something about etymology. And so the word Semite, it says 1847. So apparently the first time the word Semite was used was 1847. It says a Jew, Arab, Assyrian, or Aramaean. Apparently isolated use from 1797 refers to the Semitic language group, a back formation from Semitic, I guess it's properly spoken, it's properly Semitic, not Semitic, Semitic. Okay, or else from the French Semite. Okay, so Semite is French, not Hebrew or English. It says, or else French Semite, 1845, from modern Latin Semita. So the word Semite is from French. Semite is of French origin and Latin Semita, from late Latin Sem, and they have in parentheses Shem, one of the three sons of Noah, regarded as an ancestor of the Semites in the Old Bible-based anthropology, from Hebrew Shem, in modern sense, said to have been first used by German historian August Schlosser. Okay, August Schlosser in 1781. All right, now I want to bring it back. All right, hold on a second. I gotta bring myself back in here. Okay, where am I at? Can't see myself now. I'm doing something wrong. I can't bring myself back up on the screen. Let's see. All right, something I did wrong. I don't know what I did wrong. Okay, but anyway, I'm gonna close this video out. So I want you to understand Nick Cannon had to apologize because his boss was Jewish. He didn't know it. Apparently not to be speaking against him unless he was just being foolish. His boss and partner was Jewish, who was married to a Jewish rabbi. And thus we understand now why they brought a Jewish rabbi on the set, because she was married to a Jewish rabbi. Okay, now he may have been, I'm not sure who he was, but he could have been related to her ex-husband or someone that was trained or developed through that particular rabbi's association. But Nick Cannon had to apologize because of what was at stake, and what was at stake was his future. Now, as I close, I want to say this. My prayer goes out to him because in that arena is very dangerous to do, especially if you're in the top and you have a lot of people watching and viewing you. For you to say something like that, that's very dangerous. And so those of you that know him, you know, send up prayers for brother Nick, because I just pray that they forgive and that they don't he don't show up something, you know, I'm not going to pronounce doom and gloom over him, but I pray nothing happens to brother, because he's dealing in a circle that's way beyond his means. So with that said, I'm going to close this live stream that I didn't intend to be live. And prayerfully, you understand now after watching this video why Nick Cannon had to apologize. And Nick, if you happen to see this, brother, you know, reach out to me. You know, I'm open. I've been in this walk for 30 years plus, and many others have. I'm not looking to get any money. I'm not in this walk to be a multi-billionaire or a millionaire or a zillionaire, whatever the case might be. I'm here to be a voice in the wilderness. And if there's anything I could say to help to support and protection, especially, the only thing I can offer for the most part is prayer. Because brother, when you read the prophecies, what the Most High said about Israel and the judgments coming, especially in Revelation, talks about how the enemy, the red dragon, was wroth with the seed and went to make war against the remnant. I can personally say, when I was in corporate America, I didn't do my research, and I was working for people who was of Jewish background, and I said some things, and before I knew it, I was fired. I didn't know why. Now I look back now, I understand now why it was, but I didn't know the things I was saying, you know. I mean, I was convinced and excited to know that I'm an Israelite. And so that wasn't enough for me. I wanted to expose who wasn't the true Israelites, right? And boy, RD, when you do that and you work in that circle, you in that arena, look for some repercussions. So those of you that name the name of Yah, and you want your family and friends to know that you have embraced the truth, that you are an Israelite and you are supposed to keep the covenant, be careful how you share and who you share with if you're in that circle, right? Let the Most High, let the Spirit of Yah, the Ruach, lead and guide you into all truth, and there is protection, right? So with that said, prayerfully you got something out of this, and I want to say to you, those of you that's preparing to go into the Shabbat, bless the Shabbat. I got my keyboard back here, and I might come back on live a little later on and do some music, whatnot, but we'll see what the Most High says. But we will be back on tomorrow at noon time, Yah permits, Yah's will. At noon Eastern time, we'll be back and we'll do a lesson. I think I want to go ahead and deal with the subject of what do I want to deal with? The subject of what's anti-Semitic. I kind of covered some stuff we'll see. I'm gonna have to pray about it and see what the Most High leads me to talk about. I have some things that I think I might be going to talk about tomorrow, but we'll just see what the Most High has to say. But there's so much to talk about. I mean, so much to talk about. So much is going on. What are we looking forward to? We got presidential elections coming up. We got Israelites waking up. I threw a question out there earlier at the end of the Shabbat. I think it was on the first day, actually. Why did the world say that the Jews are the chosen people? And what's the proof? And I haven't got any responses but one. It was, I guess he was a Jewish guy. And his thought was, the Jews are the chosen people because they have the Torah. So that was the proof. I'm like, we gotta understand, brothers and sisters, the deception is, see, you have to be careful, as I'm saying. Prove who Israel is. Don't worry about who Israel is not. Okay? If we prove who Israel is not, it's going to be obvious. We don't have to spend our ministry efforts on proving who Israel is not. Let's see. I got some people that join me in on this forum here. Let's see. Cain, it says, I'm looking at some notes here. Daoud Ariel Ben Israel says, stay on the offensive, not the defensive. I am an Israelite. Right. So celebrities are backsliders. Shariah said that. So you may want to increase the font on your screen. Very small, hard to. Oh, okay. You know what? I made some adjustments on my computer here, so it did look like the font was small, but I had to look at because I did a recording to change. I changed some things around, trying to make it look a little more professional. But apparently, I must have adjusted something that made it smaller. But I'll look at that and see how I can fix that up. Let's see. Let's see, who is this here? Daoud said, okay, it's like, if I only know I am dead, then why the hell stay in and out, back down, go all the way through the execution by falling in the sword? Then Yeshurun said, I agree. He already said what he said, fall on the sword. Plus, it's not like he's broke. He could have took his 30 million and left the mainstream spotlight. That's a fact. That's definitely a fact. He could have did that, but the biblical text says the love of money is the root of all evil. So some people will have a love of money. 30 million is not enough. Okay, and then again, we don't know what his overhead is. His house might be worth 30 million. That might be his net worth. Okay, I don't know the man's financials. Shariah said, pressure made him change his mind. The seeds of Messiah talked about that he planted. That's true. Shariah said that the Most High name change, Messiah name change, Shem name change, children of Israel name change. I see a pattern here. Yeah. So that's pretty much for the 5 people that are watching. This was not intended to be a live stream. I was going to do a recording and upload it later, but somehow or another, I don't have control over these buttons. Sometimes I'll be clicking and it just boom. Like last Shabbat, I was trying to do something and it instantly put me online. I was like, oh, I'm going live. I didn't know it, right? So it's a computer. I have the OBS computer software, and for some reason or another, the way it's configured, when I hit use it, gives me the option to make preparation to name the title of the lesson. when I hit start streaming, it just starts streaming. Don't give me no options to put nothing up. So I got to see what I'm doing wrong. But like I said, this was definitely not intended to be a live stream, but it was something I was going to upload. But because it was on my heart, I had been holding on to it for about a week or two. And I said I was going to do a video to express to the world, to the Israelites, why Nick Cannon had to apologize. Now, he never came back and said that, but I'm a researcher, and I'm an auditor, and I am a unlicensed lawyer. So I know how to investigate and to research. And so when I was inquiring in my mind, why, with all of that he said, that did he have to come back and apologize? And so to protect his financial future, he came and he sucked it up. And it wasn't good. It didn't look good on him. So Kessler and Fuchs is pronounced. Okay, somebody's Sister V Love. Okay, it says it's pronounced Arthur Kessler. Okay, so the O is silent. Arthur Kessler. And how Fuchs is pronounced Fuchs. Okay, Fuchs. Okay. All right. I didn't mean this to lower anybody, but I sound like I was cussing. It did sound like it was a cuss. Fuchs. Arthur Fuchs. I mean, William Fuchs. William Fuchs. Okay. So I've been corrected, and I stand corrected, and I appreciate the correction. The Shariah said, Matthew 10:16, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore as wise as serpents and harmless as doves. There you go. Couldn't have said it better. So, as we're making preparations, it's kind of surprising. I got some people online. I mean, I wasn't expecting, I guess people are home from work or whatever, but it's always good to have people to fellowship with. I've never been one to be caught up with numbers because I know numbers means nothing. A lot of people, you have a lot of bodies, but not a lot of bodies on board. I was a pastor at one time in my career, and I had 300 members, but out of 300, I probably had 3 that was faithful that I could count on to be there when I needed them to be there. But they was all there in the number. So imagine these pastors that have mega congregations, and they congregations, they're not really have the vision of the leader. So I'm not caught up with the numbers, all of that. It matters not. If one person tunes in, one can chase 1,000, 2 could chase 10,000. So one person hearing or embracing the truth of Yah can reach 1,000, etc. 2 can reach 10,000, so forth. So let's see. Toda Yah, Sister V Love, she says, I appreciate you. You were one of the first YouTube videos I watched in the early part of my awakening. Oh, well, I mean, so you remember when I was younger with all the gray hair and missing teeth. I'm telling you, I've been on a journey. I mean, since I've been in this walk, oh my goodness, 2000, my first video I think was in 2006, and when I discovered that we are the biblical Israelites, I'm gonna say it this way: I was mad as hell at the white man, because I was like, why didn't they tell us the truth? We the biblical Israelites. And so I went off on a rant. And I remember I did a video, and I was like raw, uncut. I mean, literally raw. I was like the guys you see on the corner cussing at people and calling them names and calling the Hebrew sisters names and stuff. Maybe I wasn't quite as bad as them, but I was on that page. And oh, she said, I still look good. Your wife has something good to look. Oh, appreciate that. Hallelujah. I remember a sister who messaged me, because back in the day on YouTube Messenger was kind of like Facebook Messenger. People could message you on your Facebook channel privately and stuff like that. Now, I don't think you can do that. You might be able to do it some kind of way. But the sister had sent me a message, and she said to me, she said, brother, why are you so angry? She said, brother, you got a lot of truth, but why are you so angry? Oh, okay. She said she didn't see those videos. Okay, that was early on. I don't know what year. Sister Fee-Love, what year was that you are connected with me? I know it was back. It was like 2006, early 2006. YouTube came out, and I think in 2005. I'm not correct, if I'm not correct. Around 2005, I had opened the channel. Or was it 2004? When did YouTube come into existence? 2000. Oh, 4 years ago. Oh yeah, you didn't know me then. I was raw and uncut back then. Oh man, I was raw and uncut. I got some old videos I might upload. I have a channel called a Kazakh Kabbat Classics channel where I upload some old stuff. But I mean, boy, I'm telling you, I went to town on the so-called Gentiles about why they didn't tell us the truth, and I just went off. And the sister said to me, she said, brother, she said, you know, you got a lot of truth. She said, there's some Israelite brothers that teach, but they don't have that anger like you. I didn't know who she was talking about, because for me, when I first came to the knowledge, there wasn't a whole lot of people I knew was Israelites back in 2004 when I went public on social media. And what was that? My screen just did a little dance. I don't know what happened there. It did a little dance. Something went wrong. I guess that was a YouTube live feed. It just scrambled. I saw it scramble in my eye, in my peripheral vision. But like I was saying, when I first came to the truth, my sister told me, you know, that there are brothers that teach the truth that are not bitter. So I wasn't a whole lot of people. So YouTube, the Hebraic knowledge that we, the children of Israel, wasn't something that was real popular back then. I had no knowledge of the UPK camps either. I later on started seeing them pop up on YouTube. And I was like, who are these brothers here? She said, that's the brothers that you sound like. Like, well, I want to have the love of Yah and the fire of Yahshua, right? With the truth, and to bring a knowledge of information to Israel, to let Israel know that you are the people of the book. Okay, sometimes the fire can come forth as if it's anger, but it's so much, you can't teach hatred to other people. And so with that, the Most High dealt with me about us being the priests. And that's the reason why each Shabbat we do our Shabbat class and lesson. We talk about the Most High said that if you obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, you shall be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Right? So that was a revelation the Most High gave me. And this was maybe like 3 years after I went public on social media, that the Most High had revealed to me that we had been called to be the priesthood, the priests of Yah to the nations, right? So pardon me for, I got a little sweat and perspiration going on, which is making my arms itch. But be that as it may. So I just wanted to share my position and my thoughts as to what happened, what transpired with Nick Cannon and why he had to apologize. And many people don't know that, but one thing is that someone said something was very important that was Shariah said that the Most High said in Matthew 10:16, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves." And that's true. See, we are sent as sheep. People are waiting, and I can't say this enough. You know, we got the COVID-19 going on. A lot of people are working from home, right? Be careful what you say on your social media, on Facebook. Praise to the Most High Yah that you waking up, that you in the knowledge you're an Israelite. Keep it at that. Don't talk about who's not Israel, you in that circle, because they are watching your Facebook. They're watching your Twitter feeds. They're watching your Instagrams and your whatever other social things that people are doing now. But those are the primary ones that people post up their thoughts and their feelings about their awakening up to the truth. So you want to be very careful what you post, especially since you're working in that arena. You never know who's watching, who's viewing, who's listening to what you're saying. Let Yah do his work. Praise Yah for awakening us to the truth, and to who we are, and first to who he is, and to his covenant, because this whole thing is not about you identifying that you are an Israelite. It's about you knowing who Yah is and ascribing to being obedient to all that the Most High has said to do. That's what Israel said in Exodus 19. All that he has said we will do. But then when the Most High in the next chapter, chapter 20, gave the Decalogue, and then they saw the thunder and the lightnings, and they heard the sounds of the trumpets, they was like, ooh. Let's see. Sister V Love says, are you familiar with the House of Israel Assembly of Yahweh in Baltimore? They have been around since before the 90s. Assembly, is that I think, are you talking about Simmons? Overseer Pastor Simmons? I am familiar with them, and I met them. I'm gonna tell you, when I used to travel around the diaspora to different Hebraic camps just to see, because the curiosity to me was I wanted to know, because someone had did a video years ago and they put me out there as if I was the founder of the Hebrew Israelite movement. I was the chief speaker or the leader. I'm like, no, I am not. No way, form, fashion, or shape. And somebody sent me a video, said, brother, they got you out there, and they got showing the Hebrew Israelites as a cult, and they got you as the chief speaker, the leader. They had a video with me when I was younger, and I was playing the keyboard, and I was talking and whatever, and they had a little clip of me showing me on there, and I wasn't, So back during those days, I traveled, and I went to different cities to meet different Hebraic camps to find out how they came into the knowledge of the covenant and that they are Israelites. And some of them I came in contact with. They didn't even know they were Israelites. They just knew that they were supposed to keep the laws, commands, and statutes. And then when they came across me, they was like, brother, I heard you teach that we the children of Israel. We're not children of Israel. We are Gentile converts. We are engrafted into the covenant. And I remember having many phone conversations down through the years with different people, because back during those days when I had my old channel, I put my personal phone number out there. Give me a call. And my phone was ringing while I was at work in corporate America on those days. And people would debate me, argue with me, and tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. And I never was the one that I'm going to scream and holler and shout back at you. When they would say certain things to disagree, I would just give them something. I say, go look this up here and get back with me, give me a call back. You know, I'm not going to fight and argue with you, you know, because, you know, I'm not an arguer or fighter in that particular sense of word, especially on the phone. So I say, anything that I say you disagree with, you know, I say, here, you research this and you get back with me and tell me what you find, right? And most of the time when people would call me and they would argue with me about different things that I said or taught, that they would, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I know Elder David Johnson, absolutely. They would say things to, and I remember some people contact me back 20 years later. I had a brother reached out to me on YouTube and said, brother, you don't know me, but he said 20 years ago, he said, I used to be one of the ones that gave you a hard way to go. I was a full-blown Christian, and I was the one on your video. I don't remember the person. I know I had a lot of haters back then. And as a matter of fact, it was a couple of Christian ministries that was determined to get me off of YouTube. And I somewhere in my archives of my hard drive, I had actually comments and actual messages that I got from people that told me that they was going to see to it that I was taken off of YouTube for attacking Christianity. And it happened. That channel was terminated. But yeah, Dr. Elder David Johnson, yes, indeed. I know Elder David Johnson, and there's a brother that I sent to, as a matter of fact, Brother Woody, who it used to sing with the Druid Hill gang group. He's from Baltimore, and I was living in Chicago at the time. So Elder David Johnson at Lavender every week, visited 2 years ago. Okay, all right. Yeah. I haven't seen I've seen Elder David Johnson in probably 2 or 3 years since the time you was there. I may have been there around that time, but because I get around to visit a lot of different Hebraic circles, and but like I said, Woody was this one of the singers, one of the main singers. The brother can blow, but he came to the knowledge when I was in Chicago. Like I said, back then I would throw my number out there and I'd get calls from people. He called me on the phone and said to me, brother, he said, I left the group. Yeah, he said, because I came to the knowledge that I'm an Israelite and certain things that the group stands for, and I can't partake with that any longer. So he left the group, and I was like, wow, man, this brother, famous singer, contacted me on the phone talking about he's in the knowledge and leaving the group. I remember many times I had people call me from California in the circle with Ice Cube and Will Smith and those guys. One brother called me on the phone. This was back in 2008, I want to say 7 or 8. He called me on the phone. He said, brother, he said, we listening to your videos out here in California, out in Hollywood. I said, yeah, Hollywood. He said, yeah. He said, we actors, we actors in Hollywood. He said, and I'm not going to mention my name. He said, but I'm one of the actors in Hollywood. He said, I'm in the same circle with Will Smith and that crew. He said, and we watch your videos. He said, and the things that you share on the video, he said, are very profound. He said, and we agree with what you're saying about us being the children of Israel. So I've received many phone calls from many people back on those days that said they were watching and viewing and so forth, and that they believe that we are the children of Israel. So I've gone on long enough, And I'm going to come back on tomorrow. And if Yah doesn't bring me back to do some music later on, for sure I'll be back tomorrow on the day portion of the Shabbat. And we're going to talk a little bit about what the Most High has for us to talk about during this season. So as I close, my intention, and it's done, original intention was to address the subject of why Nick Cannon had to apologize and to warn those of us who are in the circle of corporate system, know who you work for, know their background, because you don't want your good to be evil spoken of. And the Messiah, I think it was the Messiah that said that. He said that don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Was that the Messiah who said that? And someone else quoted, "Be harmless, be harmless as dove." That's very on point. Sister Love said that. Be harmless. Sister Love, am I giving the right credit to the wrong person? No. Shariah. I don't give credit to the wrong person. Shariah said that. Be harmless as doves. Right. Okay, so let me see. She's got one more comment here. Do you now know about the gathering in Virginia Beach on Sunday to cry out to Yah? There is info on YouTube channel Kingdom Harbinger Ministries. I'm gonna do this here. Send me some links, Sister Love. I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna give you my email address, and let me know when you get this, so I can get connected, because you said it's this Sunday at Virginia Beach. Now, you speaking about Virginia Beach, I got a friend down there, Moray Ron. Do you know Moray Ron? He's down there in Virginia Beach, and there's a lot of Israelites that I'm not going to mention names because I want to kind of protect people. I'm older now and I have more wisdom, but I want to protect people. But there are a lot of Israelites in that Virginia Beach, and then if you go over a little west from there, you go to Richmond. There's a whole group of Israelites over there in Richmond area that fellowship on the Shabbat. So the Most High is waking up a lot of Israelites across the globe, especially in the areas where the transatlantic, that Jamestown, Virginia area where the slave ports originally came in. There's a huge, not a rude, but a huge awakening. There's a huge awakening of Israelites from across the globe. She says, no, I can't go. Oh, but I thought you might be close enough. You wanted to. Virginia Beach is about, from me, I got somebody in the street making noise. Overweighing my voice. I'm about an 7 to 8 hour drive from Virginia Beach. But if you send me the information, I'm not sure if I can make it, but just send me an email, and I'm gonna give you my other email address because I got a bunch of them. If you don't reach me, you can CC all of my emails because sometimes my emails get overwhelmed. So let's see. This is my other email. And then I have this one. Those two are my primary emails. Ask Malachi is connected to this channel. Malachi Ministries was connected to the channel that got terminated, but I still have the Gmail account. So if you could send me a link or Facebook link or something to my email, and I'll take a look and see if I can go there and stream, because I know a lot of people are streaming, and we can participate and find out what time the event is going to. Let's see, I'll have to get my son to forward it. Still technically challenged. I got that. Hey, don't worry about it. Get your son to, if you're on Facebook, let's see, you can connect with me. Let me see if I can give you my Facebook link here. What's my Facebook channel page? So if you're on Facebook, you can send me a friend request, and you can probably send me connections to that. Let's see. What's my Facebook? Let's see. Can I share my? Let's see. Is an easy way to do this. This is not the one. Okay, let me give you my other Facebook. I got 2 Facebook channels. 2 Facebooks. When I had a legal name change, I had I was trying to connect with people in my past, and so many people never didn't know who Kazakia was. So, and to my surprise, a lot of people really, once they found out that how I believed and what I was. Oh, she says I only do YouTube. Okay, got you. All right. Okay. All right. Well, I'll say that then. But for anybody that might want to connect to me on Facebook, this is my Facebook channel, Facebook page. But you get your son to send via email the email address I gave you, so I can kind of try to see. I'm gonna reach out to Moray Ron too, because are you in Richmond? Are you in Virginia Beach? So you're 2 hours from there. Okay. So I'm gonna reach out to Moray Ron and see if he knows anything about something's going on. You know, if it's in Virginia Beach, I'm pretty sure he's probably privy to it. But preferably, let's see, you all. Hold on 1 second. Okay, let's see. Hold on a second. I'm trying to see what's going on here. Am I still live? Okay, I see. I changed the title of the video. I see how to do it now. Okay, that's what I was doing. Okay, upstate New York. Oh yeah. Okay, Buffalo. There's some Israelites. 2 hours from. You said 2 hours from upstate New York, but you 2 hours from. Did I see you said you was 2 hours? Wait a minute, hold on a second. Okay, I got my information wrong. 2 years ago, you said you visited 2 years ago. Okay, I thought you said it was 2 hours from there. Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, yeah, 2 hours from. Okay, so you upstate New York. There's nothing up here but camps and some Israelites in the old synagogue side about 1950s, but they are not missing. And I'm in Rock. Oh, you close. Oh, you. It's I gotta connect you because there's some Israelites in see, Rochester and Buffalo is close. You're about 45 minutes from Buffalo. There's some Israelites in Buffalo. They actually have a congregation there. There's a Moray. He's on Facebook. Picard Smothers, and his daughter named Esther Smothers. They're on Facebook, and they're in Rochester. And then not only that, and they're Messianic, they believe in the Mashiach. They are more of a, how do you put it? They are more of a Pentecostal type Hebraic movement with a contemporary flair. So that's Picard Smothers. That's the Hebrew Picard. I forget what Picard means in Hebrew, but his name is Picard Smothers. Smothers is the last name, Smottheres, Smothers. But they're in Buffalo, and then also there's Buffalo. There's another group in Buffalo, and in Canada. So you're in Rochester. There's an Israelite. What is that? What's that? Oh man, it's a big organization up there in Canada. They used to have a channel on YouTube. What is the name of that camp up there in Canada? They use last I checked with them, they were still using the pagan names. They wasn't using the sacred names. Interchangeably they was off and on, but they wasn't using the sacred names on a regular basis to my knowledge. But so up there where you are at in Rochester, and as a matter of fact, yeah, I will do that. As a matter of fact, I can put you in contact with a sister who is from Rochester. She lives in Jacksonville now. And she's been down in Jacksonville for the past maybe 7 or 8 years, maybe, or more. But she's from Rochester, and she used to go back and forth to Pittsburgh. There was a congregation in Pittsburgh. Trying to remember the imam's name. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Gordon, Pastor Gordon, Ima Gordon, Ima Hanaya Gordon. She is from the House of Yahweh. She's in that same circle with Pastor Johnson, with Elder Johnson. Yeah, she's in the same circle. So if you fellowship with Elder Johnson, then I'm sure he knows her, because I think they came out of that same Pentecostal Hebrew movement. But like I was saying, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to close down. But in the Hebraic movement, it could be just like the church. There's so many different facets and sectors of the Hebraic movement. I didn't come through a camp. Mine was divinely inspired. I was riding in my car, and the Most High told me I was an Israelite and told me to study the children of Israel and study the covenant and the city of Jerusalem, and the prophecies, and the book would open up to me. And I was a pastor in a Christian church, or first originally in an independent Church of God, My dad was a pastor and bishop, and then I left from there and got involved in the Grand Old Church of God in Christ, right? Where I was licensed and ordained and became a pastor under Church of God in Christ. And then I got connected to the Word of Faith, non-denominational, through Frederick K.C. Price, Dr. Frederick K.C. Price. Evidence, does your life show enough evidence? And so from there, I went to Chicago when I was under partner, I should say, with Fred Price, and got in contact with Bill Winston in Chicago, and actually Forest Park, outside suburbs of Chicago. And from there is where the Most High began to just let things fall into place. But I had came into the knowledge, but I was out there on my own, just drifting and just learning and just developing on my own, because I didn't have any knowledge of any other Hebraic camp. I thought I was crazy. Okay. Oh, I didn't see that part. You said it was you and Elder Johnson that got you out of pagan names. Yeah. Praise Yah for that. Hallelujah. I mean, I pray that Israel comes out of those names, because, boy, I'm telling you, we don't really see that as part of the covenant, is the returning back to the Most High's covenant laws and statutes, and the names is part of it, because the Most High did say he would remove the names of Baalim out of their lips. So, okay, she says, thank you. I enjoyed this. May Yah richly bless you and yours do. You know, oh, Jaja Azikui, he used to be with Fred Price too. I don't know him. Is he in the truth? Jaja, I have to look him up. Let's see, Jaja. You know, I'm a Google searcher. I'm gonna Google his name. Let's see. You said Jaja. Let's see. Is he on Facebook? I mean, let's look on Facebook, see if he's on there. Let's see, Jaja. I don't know if this is him or not. Let's see. He's from Fresno, let's see, Los Angeles. I don't know if this is the same one. For those who don't like to read, the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth about Jesus, part 1 through 5. This might be him. I'm gonna give you this link here. You tell me, you click on it and tell me if this is him. And I'll check him out. He's got a YouTube channel. I'll check him out and see what he's talking about. But okay, so let's see. So are you saying that he came from? Are you saying that he came from Fred Price as well? Let's see. He has a YouTube channel. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Okay, the one that I pulled up on Facebook has a YouTube channel, so that might be the same one that you're talking about. I see he got some Israelite friends, so that might be him. But you know, the interesting thing is, the Most High bringing Israel out of bondage and out of deception and lies, all in different ways at different times. And so some people, and this is sad, but it's true, but a lot of people have left one religion into another religion. That's why when we talk about we Israelites, people say, well, y'all another religion. And it amazes me because, and the reason why they say we're in another religion is because they look at the main people who they see on the internet. And what they produce or present is either hate-filled doctrine, where they're hating on another group of people, or they are putting on a show on the street corners to where people have a bad, sour tooth when it comes to the Hebrew or Israelite, any two. So I'm gonna check them out. I'm gonna let you get yourself prepared. For those of you that I still got 5 people tuned in. Man, I'm telling you, people hanging in there. This was supposed to be a quick video. I ended up being on here 1 hour and 50 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut down. And so those of you that want to join us tomorrow at noon Eastern time, we'll be back on noon Eastern time. And tomorrow I might come back on and do a little keyboard, play a little something on the keyboard. You see my keyboard back here? Can you see that? Let me move my chair. I got my little studio set up. It's not powered up, but that's what you see back here. I got my little drum machine and my keyboard. And of course, and on the other corner, you can't see, but that's my sound module and my MIDI module and my mixing board. Right? I made my den into a studio for the time being. But so we're gonna come back, Yah's will, as Yah permits on the Shabbat to fellowship tomorrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and terminate this. Baruch atah, my sister V Love, and I'm about to ask sister, when you reach out to me, I'm gonna connect you with sister Tondalea. That's her name, Tondalea. See, y'all might have some connections between you. But anyway, be that as it may, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off this live stream. And until the next time, may the blessings of the Most High Yah be with you and your family. Shalom, shalom, shalom.